Hi, my name is John, and this is Business Update. In this week's episode, we'll be discussing the GPU update for the month of April for the year 2023. Now, if you're a tech person who likes setting up their own PCs or desktop PCs for that matter, you're considering whether is it the best time to make that upgrade from the 30 series GPUs, or should you buy the latest one, the 40 series GPU. Now, obviously, that would depend on several factors. Obviously, price, namely the one, availability, obviously, if it's available in your region, and what's the cost of buying a new one versus buying a second-hand one if it's available in your respective market. So we'll take a look in this article, in particular at techspot.com, where the Nvidia RTX 4070 is the cream of the cream de la creme in terms of the top highest tiered GPU if in terms of raw power. Now, obviously, in terms of performance, is it significantly an improvement from the 3090s to the 4070s? Based on the price, we'll take a look and what should you consider in terms of what to buy for the immediate present or moving forward. Obviously, GPUs are getting much powerful, being able to do more complex job, not just for gaming, but for work per se. And it uses a lot of, what do you call this, power. So you need to take that into account so that when you're customizing your desktop or using your existing one, does it have enough juice to power up your PC without overloading it. Anyway, so let's take a closer look here. So in terms of its current pricing, so the current pricing for the GPU GeForce RTX 4090 is at $1,600. So roughly around 50, 60,000 pesos. Ideally speaking, now obviously that could significantly be higher by the time it reaches our market, close to 80 to 100K or even more, depending on the markups. But what's interesting here is it has come down from its highest pricing from back in February for as much as $1,800 here. And compare that to the 4080, it's $400 cheaper, and it's twice cheaper the 4070 Ti. So whether it's a significant improvement or do you even need that bump in terms of performance, you will have to decide as to what you're using it for, and are you able to maximize it or utilize it for whatever the test case that you're using it be. Now, on the other hand, the competitor of the RTX is the Radeon RX 7900 XTX. Even though it's the highest tier, it's still significantly cheaper by $600. And in terms of the market price, from few months back up to currently, it has hovered around the same price. So it hasn't lowered significantly. It hasn't risen significantly. So that could be taken as a good or as a status quo. Then the lower tiered 7900 XT is $100 cheaper, but it's slightly higher than compared to previous months. So you might consider the Intel Arc, which is obviously significantly cheaper, but can it be relied upon? Has a lot of questions at that. But anyway, so that's for the brand new set of GPUs. Now, how about for the GPU pricing for the previous iteration of the 3090s? So it's still pretty expensive for the 3090 Ti. It's close to $2,000. So it's cheaper the 4070. But the problem is of its availability, obviously due to the pandemic, limited supply chains has crashed the pricing, the supply and demand. And obviously, Nvidia is trying to push out new GPUs so that they could sell you more GPUs, more products as possible. What's interesting, my current GPUs that I'm using is the RTX 30, sorry, the 3070, not the Ti. And what's interesting, the MSRP is only around $500, so roughly around 30,000 pesos, and I paid close to double the amount way back in 2021, early 2021, I think, and now has stabilized in terms of pricing because obviously of the release of the new GPUs. Now let's take a look at the its counterpart, the AMD's Radeon. So you can still see 6950 XT is still on par with its top tier latest GPUs, slightly more expensive, and it's available. But for the 6900 XT, close to same price, but no chance of getting it because of limited stocks or no stocks availability. So you have to drop down to 6800 XT or 6800, and you go down the list for a more affordable if you can find one in your area here. Now, what's interesting here is this is the list for brand new GPUs. So the interesting here is how about the used GPU. Now overall, uh, it seems to have stabilized sort of or not. Even if you're interested in buying the top tier used GPUs, the problem is availability again because of the shortage and people needing it to use earlier before. But currently, obviously, with the release of the new generation, people are just buying or picking up the latest one. So here's what I mean. So for the RTX 3090 Ti, which is selling MSRP at around $2,000, it used to sell half the price, but obviously it's not available. So if you can find one, then good luck to you. Then the 3090 is slightly cheaper, $500 cheaper at $1,500. Again, availability is the issue. You go down the list, 3080 Ti, it's not available. 3080, the 12 gig version or the even the 10 gig version is problematic here. Now, if you go down a lower tier, the next tier, which is the 3070 Ti, then that's more palatable in terms of its availability. The price, I think it's more affordable than the 3070. As you can see here, MSRP at 500, it's now selling, roughly between 400 to 500 bucks. So it depends on the quality. If you can find a cheap one, then go right ahead. So at the end of the day, whether should you buy the latest one or should you look for a second-hand used GPU? Now, it depends on your use. If you're using an existing setup, then it would make sense to buy what you need right now. But if you're setting up for a brand new desktop PC, whether you're focused on gaming, work, or combination of both, then you can invest more in the latest GPU so that would last hopefully for quite some time, a few years. And this is what was my thinking way back 2 years before. Now, sad to say, I haven't been able to maximize the GPU, but at least I know with certainty that given the current games or the older games that I tend to prefer to play, I'm able to do it without breaking a sweat. Now, obviously, hopefully it doesn't break down. Knock on wood, all the components is still functioning in 5 years' time. Then I think it's a good investment, or even longer if that's the case. Maybe here. So, question here is, should you buy brand new or second-hand one? Now, if you're looking for second-hand or used GPUs, you might have more luck with the AMD's Radeon GPUs, with the only exception of the 6900 XT. Maybe not available to do the masses, but for the rest of their lineup, in terms of pricing, it's slightly more expensive. Cheaper compared to its MSRP. So you might consider picking it up if your system is built for using AMD's GPU. So a lot of things to consider, and you can go down the list and even go to the RTX 2080 Super or 2070 Super, all the way to the 2060. So it depends. It always goes back to the budget that you're considering here. But either way, take serious consideration as to what you're going to use it for, and based on the budget, and shop around in terms of the different stores. Here we have plenty of stores from Velman to PC Express. I forgot the name. And you can check it online if they have availability, how much is the pricing, and you can check out other stores online before making your purchase here. So obviously warranty is what you want if you're buying the new one, but for used one, it could be a hit or miss. So that's something you have to consider carefully before making that final purchase. Anyway, we'll see how the the pricing goes, or whether it will go up or go down in the near future. Anyway, that's it for this week. Come back again on Wednesday for more business update. As always, thank you for supporting the channel. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and check out my other contents in this channel. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.